We can have camp today. We are. Who won't give a damn about the Alamo? Right. Who gives a damn about the white man's losses? And that's why the world will rejoice when we are in authority. Right.
And the scepter of the rulers.
The truth of the matter is that you, the white man, have painted yourself as Jesus Christ.
Right.
No more of the evil and the crimes that we learned from your people. And guess what? The more and more we change and become righteous, which we're doing today, teaching the love that we're teaching the righteousness that we're teaching, the more that you're going to fall be back in a position of a servant.
Right.
Because I never seen love for black people. I never seen love for Native Indians.
Right.
I never seen kindness for these people.
Right.
I never seen all of the good things you just said. I never seen them for black, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
So all of that heartwarming stuff that you're talking about does not apply in the barrios and the reservations.
Right.
All of the stuff that you're talking about does not apply to the ghettos of America.
I understand you guys have been hanging out here for I don't know how long, and things have changed. The Alamos kind of taken over the territory.
Because the last thing we want to do is have an officer get called out here who's not informed and act on something and get himself in trouble. Absolutely. Right? We're gonna make sure we speak to the whole shift about it and everybody knows the legality of what's going on in Alamo Plaza, because obviously it's a little bit disorganized from what they want as to what is on paper.
Once again, just undefeated when the Lord on your side. You know what I mean? The man in General Your Honor raised up real revolutionaries. Damn right. That know what to fight for and how to fight.
All right. Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua brought the thumb. Yahweh Shema Thumb Hashem Yahushua. This is the Isupk. Started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, 1969, under commanding General Yohana. And we're here to teach the truth of the Bible for so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, according to the scriptures, that you are the real Israelites that the Bible is talking about. It is, of course, our Friday Lashwan Kodash class, aka the anti-Star of Moloch class, because apparently people can't get it through their thick skull that this is not a star. This is a signet. Let me go ahead and start from the jump, right? To clear the air real quick, because people don't understand. Got a lot of Christians that are quick to say in the comments that we worship the Star of Moloch because we have a shield on our neck and on the clothes and on our garments. They don't understand. It's all right. We're here to coach them, right? We're not here to bash them for not knowing. There was a point in time where I didn't know some of these things, right? But having an open mind, as the scripture says, that at the time where you ought to be teachers, you have to learn again the principal things of the oracles of God. And so when it comes to the principal things, some of the things that are very principal in our culture is our language. The oldest language that we can even fall back on is the Lashon Kodash. And we're looking at David's name right here, Dawadah. It's just his initials, yo. The scripture says that the circle of the stars is what's referred to in the Apocrypha when reading about the creation from the book of Genesis up into the Apocrypha. It mentions that the stars are actually circular. We know that's true because you look at the sun, which is the closest star to us, and it's a sphere, which looks like a circle from our perspective, right? You understand? So when we're talking about the shield of David, obviously we're talking about the name of the man who would be the king of Israel. You feel me? That's very important for us to understand because it's through his lineage that we get Christ. You understand? That's something that a lot of Christians don't really quite put the two and two together, is that it's because we have this family lineage right here that the root of David is being set back up on the earth, and that Christ, which is our King Yahushua, is going to be the one that's going to be reigning on the earth, but it's under this family crescent, okay? This family crescent you can see even in the indigenous civilizations in North, Central, and South America, in the more well-learned areas and well-learned tribes that were able to hold on to a lot of the either written or vocal traditions that withstood a lot of millennia, or a lot of centuries rather, to have any kind of record on this side of the globe. And then we do actually see that, which is further proof that we know that we're speaking the truth But it doesn't matter what people say. If one thing you will understand about Brothers in the Truth is we're not worried about how people feel about what we do. We are already convicted in our spirit because we have the seal of the Most High in our foreheads that we know that this is the truth. It's just going to be more and more evident for the whole world to understand that it's the truth as time goes on. All right. What we did last class, we took a little bit of a sidebar. We went and took the detour from the main highway when we was breaking down Psalm chapter 65. We're gonna get back into that because today's class is ancient battle rap and ancient hip hop, which is what the book of Psalm really is, and we got a whole lot of bars to go through on there. So this is like an ongoing series that we're gonna keep doing. Before we do that, though, let's do a real quick recap on what we were talking about in our previous classes. This class was re-aired last Friday. But this is again going some of the names of the brothers in our school. For an example, the captain, Saran Katazah. Katazah's name is Ka and Tazah, right? Now you have Saran, which the character Sa right here, this character right here means support. Ra means the head, which literally looks like a head. And then Na represents a seed, okay? So the supporting, the head of the growth of a nation is what a captain is.
Right.
You understand? General, same thing. When we talk about breaking down the different ranks and stuff like that, Hebrew is a pictorial language. It is a hieroglyphic language, first and foremost. Now, when you look at the characters in the English alphabet, you're not going to really see that because it's not based off of hieroglyphics. So it's very easy to mistake something like the Shield of David as something else. When in fact, because Hebrew is a hieroglyphic language, then it's a lot easier to understand the simple thing about what it actually means, what its original meaning is. We're not worried about what people do with that symbol and how they twist it because the Most High is going to deal with them anyways. The thing is that we know that this represents our nation. Okay, it's plain and simple. Captain Katazah's name is Katazah, which literally means arrow. It's interesting because a Ka would represent a wall, okay, and Tazah, which represents an ambassador, leader, or an armor bearer. So an armor bearer that's on top of a wall or a fortress in the ancient times is known as a what?
Archer.
As an archer. So Captain Katazah being the arrow is very, very much so reminiscent of what he does in the truth today.
Right.
Because what he's doing right now online is he's sending arrows out across the internet. He's getting hundreds of thousands of views, thousands of comments. The engagement has been crazy. If you think of a modern day arrow, the modern day arrow is an ICBM missile. And what Captain Katazah drops online are the equivalent of weapons of mass instruction.
Right.
You understand? So he's living up to his name. Let's see who else we got. We got a leader of a community or somebody of brotherhood of the same mind. That would be the neighbor, right? Kabar. That's Kwatazayan Kabar. Kwatazayan means officer. Kabar would represent the wall, the house, and the head. So the head of the household, and then the wall would be the gated community, which would represent that this man is somebody's neighbor. And Kabar, Officer Kabar's name literally means brother of the same mind, and people that are neighbors, people that live next to you, tend to think like you. That's why people are so akin to representing their block, right, in the hood, right? It's almost like Officer Kabar's name really represents the hood,
Right.
like literally. You
Right.
feel me? Like, and he lives up to that to the foremost. Because when it comes to gang shit, ain't nobody can break that stuff down like Officer Kabar, because has a very like-minded with people in his neighborhood growing up. You know what I'm saying? Now, for him to be a leader of a community now, he can take that knowledge and understanding in a righteous path and being a righteous leader of a community that can build neighbors that are going to protect each other. You understand? So really powerful name right there. Let's not forget. We got my own name. We talked about Officer Dawadah's name briefly. Then we talked about Captain Katazah. Talk about Officer Kabar. My name is Mighty Tree, the Terebinth, aka Ayalawan. That's how it's pronounced in Hebrew. Ayalawan. And A means food. Ya means arm. La means staff. Wa and Na. Na means seed. If you go backwards, a seed becomes a branch, becomes a staff, which then branches out. It can provide many things. That's a tree. My name is Mighty Tree. It visually represents a tree. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. I'm looking at the Hebrew characters and it makes perfect sense to me, right? So this is what you see at the end result, but this takes a lot of time and process to get to that. Trees take a long time to grow. And I'll tell you right now, for somebody like myself that's been tuning in to Commanding General Yohana, the ISUPK, you know what I'm saying, since 2010, it's been a long time coming, but, you know, I definitely hit the ground running once I came into the school and have been humbled to have the opportunity to grow with the power of the Most High through Christ on the earth to try to represent our nation to the utmost degree and to be very thorough in that understanding, to provide that oxygen, to provide that food for our people. You know what I'm saying? So living up to that name, it just makes sense. Officer Kapayar's name is Young Lion. Kapayar, Young Lion. Let's see what these characters mean. Ka means the paw or the claw. Okay. Pa represents the mouth. It looks like a mouth. Think of Pac-Man, for an example. Ya, just like in my name, represents an arm, but instead of branches of a tree, it represents the arm of a lion. And then, of course, the head, okay? A young lion with the mane. So when you look at how this all comes together, Kapayar, we are actually describing the attributes of a lion, especially one that is getting older, where he starts to know how to use his hands, you know, for many different things. Young lions, male lions, are used to using their hands to fight. Cats, big cats especially, are very adept with using their paws more so than dogs, because dogs can't really do a whole lot with their hands, but cats can. Right. Cats got opposable thumbs. They're able to really, and they got retractable claws. Look at that. That looked like a claw right there. You know what I'm saying? So ka, pa, yar. You got the pa, which is the mouth, where they learn how to roar. They also know how to bite. And then, of course, the arms and the head, which is the majority of where the strength is for the lion. You know what I'm saying? Growing out that mane. Obviously, Kapayar can't grow a beard though. So like he might have some gad in him or something. I don't know. Yeah. But that's fine though, because even without that, he's roaring like a lion now. Right. Roaring like a lion at camp. You know what I'm saying? Doing what it takes to be a lion in the truth. You know what I'm saying? So young lion, definitely with a younger spirit. That's for sure. He don't have an older spirit. He has a younger, youthful spirit, which is great because it just shows that he's got the energy to just get stuff done. Right. You know what I'm saying? And he's been an asset to the school that has grown in front of us, and it's been an amazing thing to see. We got Officer Tazayar, the ambassador, the only brother in our school that is completely fluent in Spanish, or at least the only officer in our school that's completely fluent in Spanish. Right. We got students that are coming in. Well, hopefully we can see more of them so that they can also be ambassadors with us. But Officer Tazayar is interesting because we know that, again, from seeing how Kamkataza has the Taza in his name, it actually represents an ambassador or leader. Because, again, when you look at the character La, this means staff, which is like what Moses carried when we fled Egypt. Right. But then you also have a weapon in his hand, which is what the character Za means. If you look at Za, it's a Z, but it visually does represent a weapon. You won't think about it like that when you think about it in English, but when you think about it in Hebrew, it'll actually make sense. The word weapon in Hebrew is Zayan. Okay, so imagine an ambassador with a weapon in his hand. What is our weapon? The word. It's the word of the Most High. So somebody that's holding, I mean, one thing we see quite often with Officer Tazayar when he's not speaking is he could be reading. Right. You know what I'm saying? He could be armor bearing. Right. You know, you understand? But not only that, he would represent the arm, the branch of the growth. Think of a tree, that this is an arm that's branching out. And because he's an ambassador, and because he would be a leader to the northern tribes of Israel, especially San Antonio, we need that. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of brothers and sisters that are lost out in the world that don't know their true identity. And so they're about to celebrate Christmas. They had gotten through celebrating Thanksgiving. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to wake up the minds of our people from holding on to a heritage that the Most High did not give them. And again, it all starts with them knowing who they are.
Right.
Officer Taziar, with being an ambassador, they can really help get things done as far as waking up minds and reaching out to more people to really branch out and get the 12 tribes all together. Did you have something you want to say?
No.
And then we also have Officer Yakal Ya'ala, where Yakal's name represents, and what his name actually does mean is to endure in the power. And when you look at his name, it actually represents the ability to get things done. The arm, the hand, the leadership. Again, the arm and the power. So again, when we talk about enduring the power, power is represented with this phrase right here, Allah, which just means power. Okay. The Most High's name is something different, which maybe perhaps we could do that one at the end of the class today. The Most High's name is Yahweh in the ancient Hebrew, but the actual word for power is Allah. Allahayim would actually be a word that's very similar, that would represent the Most High's military structure, which would be the angels. But looking at the name Yakal right here, think about the actual definition of his name. It says to prevail, overcome, or endure, to accomplish or reach, to be victorious, or to have ability or strength. And that's where the arm and hand come into play. And also the leadership role comes into play, because he's a leader by doing. He becomes a leader by doing the work. You know what I'm saying? His works is more shown in what he does rather than what he says. Okay. And so that's something that his absolute strength is. And that's why our school, part of the reason why our school is kept up so well is because of a brother like him who's been able to endure all types of things to get things done around here that need to get done. So big up to that brother for that. Matter of fact, he's right here. So give yourself a hand. You know what I'm saying? That's just a couple names. Let's clear the board here. You know what? I'll go ahead and do this real quick since we said it. We might as well follow through with it. We're gonna break down real quick God's name. Okay, I'm gonna show you in the ancient Hebrew so that y'all can see it. When we break down the Hebrew, and brothers that are in the school and sisters that received Hebrew names, I recommend that you do the same thing and understand the Hebrew in a much deeper sense, because it's your culture and your heritage, and you should represent it and take it back and understand it as best as you can. And I'm going to give you another example of that. So let's look at the Most High's name. This is called Tetragrammaton. Okay, Tetragrammaton. Just a fancy ass word that means the 4-letter name of the Most High. All right, it's very simple. So you have the arm, then you have this, which means hidden or reveal. This right here, Wa, means to join. And this also means hidden or reveal. This is heavy right here. And I want y'all to understand, just like how when we look at Dawada's name, I might need another marker. So we got one that's got better juice. This one's kind of lacking. If we can find one, that would help. When we look at Dawada's name, right, you have the Da, you have the Wa, and you have the Da. And when you put these two together, that's how you actually get the signet, because it's just his name. When you look at the Most High's name, it's not for a physical form like the way the signet is. So when you look at the hidden being joined to the hidden, which is also being joined to the revealing, and the revealing, what this is actually explaining is that this is pronounced Yahweh, right? Let's just get that out the way. Yahweh. And I'm going to just give it to you straight. What this is talking about. Oh, wait, is it dry erase?
Yeah, no.
Do we have a different color?
What color you want? Green?
Yeah, you might want to double check, make sure it's dry erase, because it needs to be. I could check. Let me see. Let me see. It's a little thin. It's a little thin.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. I'll make do with what we got, but I'm gonna get some more though.
All right.
Water though.
Okay.
The arm of creation. Now, when you look at the definition of the Most High's name, or the translation, when he explained it to Moses, it is that he is, or he exists. But we know that the Most High is the creator, the heavenly Father, you understand? And so the arm of revealing the things that were hidden, that were joined to the revealing of the things that were hidden. This is important for two major things, because not only is the Most High the creator of everything and how everything was made from things that were hidden. Remember in the scripture when it even tells you that at the beginning it was what? Darkness.
Right.
It was hidden. And then there was a revealing of things, which was what ended up being our creation of everything. So the Most High's name also visually represents his ability as the creator. It visually means the same thing. He's the arm of creation. He is the one that exists, the Ancient of Days. Okay. The other side of the coin is the prophecies and the revealing. So all prophecy, all revealing goes through the Most High, first and foremost. If anybody on earth is able to have any kind of understanding of anything, whether it be science, whether it be history, whether it be archaeology or anything, it doesn't happen without the authorization of the Most High, because again, he's the one that's in charge of it. He's the one that controls it. Does that make sense? So that's what the Most High's name represents visually as a character, okay, as an actual hieroglyphic language. These classes are not normal classes. You're not going to see classes like this at Yale, at Harvard, because it's probably going to be taught by white people that don't know what the heck they're talking about. In order to actually get a real understanding about this, you should actually talk to somebody like myself, who is an ancient Hebrew Israelite who comes from that bloodline, because again, the Most High is the one that chooses who has the ability to reveal the truth and who doesn't.
Right.
I wouldn't have been able to do that right now if it weren't for the fact the Most High would give me the ability to teach this truth. So, got to learn to show some respect to the Most High for that. All right, Psalm chapter 65. And we're going to start today at verse 4. So what we'll do is we'll go to the interlinear, okay, just like we do during the Sabbath service. Only this time we get to write it in the ancient Hebrew. And so this is a really important thing to be able to do, to actually go and break down our culture and to look at things in a way that is more relatable to us. Was there any other marker? I thought there was a black marker.
No.
I need to have at least two colors. Let me check some of these other markers just to make sure. I would like to be able to. Oh, this might work. This one's better. What's weird though, because sometimes a marker will be bad for a while, and then you come back later on and it somehow is better all over again. And I'm like, hey, ain't tripping. All right.
What verse?
We're going to start at verse 4 today. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get there. Psalm 65 and verse 4. Yeah, because in verse 3, we went over that a couple classes ago. I got to update the playlist for this particular breakdown, okay? So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to make sure to get that as soon as I can. Let's see how long this marker is going to last us. So we're going to start at verse 4 today, okay? Let's start at verse 4. It says, Sharia.
The car.
Sharia. Okay. Tabachar. Tabachar. Hey, can you do me a favor and just text the brother this class?
I don't come, sir.
Unless you were specifically told not to contact. Yes or no? All right. Well, Most High cries, I hope that he finds it. All right. Sabahar. And it says Wa Tha Korab. Wa Tha.
Korab. Isupk Khan.
Korab.
Yeah.
And what we're doing is we're actually converting it from the Assyrian Hebrew to the ancient Hebrew as we're reading it. It's a very exclusive way to look at the Bible, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not common that you see the Old Testament written like this as openly and freely as we have, because we've gotten to the point where we're just going in and breaking it down, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a normal thing for us. And that's beautiful because we get more fluent with this language over time, Lord willing. Cha Tazar Yak. Okay. Tazar Yak. That's interesting. Tazar. It's not exactly like Captain Tazar because it's got a ka at the end.
Right. Katazaryak.
It's like Katazar mixed with Captain Tazar.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Katazaryak.
Katazaryak.
Let me not get ahead
What does
of
that mean?
myself.
Courts?
In your courts. Yeah. The root word is Katazar. Katazar, court or tower. It's interesting. Next. Well, we'll finish writing the verse and then we'll break it down in English. So we got
Shabai.
Na Shabai Ha Na Shabai Na Shabai. I'm pretty sure you could just say the ha at the end. All right. Na Shabai Ha. And then Batawab. Batawab. Bayathak. Bayathak. Almost there. And then Kodash. I think we know what that one means, right? Kodash. And then Ha
Yakalak.
Yakalak. All right. Let's see what we done wrote down, okay? If we got any particular vocabulary words that we want to break down, well, we'll go ahead and do that. So let's see what we got. All right. So the first one, it says Asharya. Asharya. Ashar means blessed. It's interesting too, because Ashar
Means head.
also can mean man too. It's interesting. So it says, blessed is the man. Oh God, this is where I need more markers. Okay. Blessed is the man. And then Bahar. The root word here is Bahar. Oh, this is the root word. Bahar. And what this is saying is to choose or to join. But because there's a ka at the end, it's saying your choice. Blessed is the man that you choose. Blessed is the man that you choose and cause to approach. So The word right here is quarab. 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 Here's the root word. Boom. So, real quick, Ashar means blessed. It also means happy.
Yeah.
Like Asher. Okay. Blessed or happy. It says is the man you choose. The word choose is bahar. These are vocabulary words. We're giving you like rapid fire vocabulary words. These are great things to take notes on because you could literally take a notebook and whether you write down the scripture or not, you can even have on a separate page. You can say, okay, what are some of the words of the day? Ashar, bless, bahar,
Bakhar.
choose. Yeah, bahar means choose. Then we got watha korab. Okay, korab means to approach or to bring. Okay, it says and cause to approach, aka bring. Blessed is the man you choose and bring, and it says Yah Shakan. Okay, Yah Shakan. Root word here is Shakan, which means to abide or continue. But this right here says that he may dwell or, like I said, just to give you better understanding too, he may abide. Okay, which means to stay near, okay, or dwell. Dwell is a direct like visualization, but abide, continue, to inhabit, or to lay place, or remain, or dwell, right? So that's what he's saying. Blessed is the man you choose and cause to approach, that he may dwell. And then it says, Ka Tazariak, in your courts. In your courts. Court, tower, or village. Okay. So the root word right here is Katazar. This group of characters right here. Okay. The yak at the end is grammatical stuff. The root word here is Katazar, which means court, tower, or village. So when it says in your courts, when you think of the hood here in San Antonio, there's a hood called Lincoln Courts. Well, what does that mean? It doesn't mean court like a courtroom, but what? Neighborhood. Right? Lincoln Courts. In your courts. But again, just to kind of reiterate, for those of you that try to take it literal, it can mean tower. It can mean village. These are all different ways to use Katazar. Okay. Tower, village, courts. What's a tower? A place of refuge.
Right.
A place of safety. A village. A community. Courts. Same thing.
Yeah.
Community. A trap. Not a physical trap, but they call it the trap because it's not a blessed court. It's not the most protective tower, right? And it's not the most camaraderie type of village. But hey, we're gonna make the hood great again, right?
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? That's why we come in here. That's why we set up our school in the middle of what would be considered an unfavored court. You know what I'm talking about? We ain't scared.
Right.
We ain't worried about. We ain't scared, bro. I'm trying to tell you, we out here. We ain't going nowhere. And so it says, "Na Shabaya, Na Shabaya." It says, "We shall be satisfied." Okay. So the word Shabai, we think of Shammai, right? Which means to listen. But what about Shabai? Not only does that sound like one of our numbers. Hold up. What? What number is that?
Shabai. I said it.
Exactly. And what does that number mean?
Rest.
That's a good one. But that's not what the definition is. That is a good one, though, because that would mean the seventh day, right?
Right.
Shabai means completion or fill.
Oh, okay.
Completion.
Salaki, sir, I got a question. I thought, is it Nashabai? Is it Nashabai or Nashabaya?
Think of you're never going to be wrong with just saying the root word.
Nashabai.
Like if you ever have any doubt on how to pronounce it, we're not ever going to check you for saying the root word, because the more that we hear that, the easier it'll be to remember the definition or to remember the vocabulary.
But
So nashabai ha at the end. Now, if you say nashabai, it's a preference thing, because technically the way it would change it with other characters, it would be shabai I or shaba I.
Shaba I.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shaba I. But if I'm saying shabai and then a ha at the end, just keep in mind that the shabai is what I want you to understand. The ha would represent what? Possessive adjective. Ha? Where's it at? That's a preposition. Ha at the end, it means something different.
So like you said, but I thought when ha was at the end, it's silent.
Yeah, it could be, because when it's joined to that, I just don't have it written like that right now. So again, we know the number 7, and even Christ says that you're supposed to forgive your brother 70 times 7. Why does he keep using the word 7? Because he's just basically saying the completion of it, the filling of it, like all the way through.
Right.
He's saying all the time. He's not now. What a Edomite will do is they'll count. Okay, 70 times 7. So I'll forgive him this many hundred and this many dozens of times, and then after that, we're gonna cut him off. No, Christ is just saying, forgive your brother, bro. Just quit being crazy with it. So when he's saying, we shall be satisfied, we shall be completion or fill. So for this, completed or filled, satisfied. That's why shabai means satisfaction. And it's a number. That's crazy.
Right, 7. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ba tawab. Everybody understand that, right?
Tawab.
Ba tawab. We know tawab.
Tawab is good.
There's a couple of Hebrew phrases that we do know, and tawab is definitely one of them.
Right.
So what does ba mean? Ba means in or with.
Right.
So what is this translating? You see how I'm breaking it down, how we can really get into the grimy of it and understand it? So we know that tawab means good, right? That we do know. But when we say in good, so how do we understand that in English phrases? It would say in or with the goodness. Does that make sense?
Right.
With goodness or in good. We wouldn't say just with good. We shall be satisfied with good. That actually is more like Black and Hispanic, how we would say it, right?
Yeah.
So, but because we got to translate into fancy ass English, is with the goodness. But if we're just being Blacks and Hispanics like we always do after a couple glasses of wine, we just be like, we shall be filled with good.
We good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good.
I dig it.
And so what it's saying is, blessed is the one that the Most High chooses and brings to dwell in the tower, village, and the court, right? And they would be satisfied with the good. It's like, even no matter where you're at, what the Most High brings you in here, he's not bringing you in here to make you suffer like you're gonna be tested.
Right.
But the end result is that you actually are blessed, because we know that Ashar means happy, right?
Right.
That you'll live a much happier and better situation where you'll be satisfied with the good, not overabundantly, not overindulged, not spoiled, but satisfied, meaning you're completed. You complete your spirit being around our tower, our courts, our camaraderie, our brotherhood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this is it's we could just read a scripture real quick, but to see it in the Hebrew and break it down bit by bit, it really helps you digest it in a much more in-depth way. And that's something that is awesome to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand that first and foremost, we're reading the book of Psalms. These are songs. These are lyrics. These are bars.
Right.
These are the things that Blacks and Hispanics have always wanted to rap about. Instead of rapping about us killing each other, we rapping about being happy and living in a place where we could dwell in, where we feel protected, where we are satisfied. You understand?
With the good.
That's what, with the good.
Yeah.
We'll be completed with goodness. We'll be satisfied. We'll be filled with goodness, because we're not going to be filled with badness.
Right.
We're not going to be eating pork. We're not going to be filling our bodies, our temples with drugs. We're not going to be doing those things because the Most High is choosing who he's bringing into the truth.
Right.
And you're going to dwell in a society or a neighborhood that has a completely different outcome than what we've been so accustomed to up until this point.
Right.
So it's heavy to read that in that way. So continue, it says, Ba Yathak. Ba Yathak. This is interesting. Bayath is the root word. Bayath. So the thak, and this is where it comes back down to that preference, right? Because Bayath ka could be a way that it's pronounced. I technically see when we say Bayathak, that's a modern Hebrew way of reading it.
Okay.
Because they add the character at the end and then it changes the way that it sounds. But in the Paleo Hebrew, it's more direct, where it's just root word, add the character. Bayathka. Like when we say Shalomka. Right? So it's like Bayathka. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just keep it 100, just do it like that.
Yeah.
Because now we understand what it's actually saying, because ka means your. Right. So we're saying in the goodness of, the of is implied here, okay? Because what we see is your house. So where is this tower? Where is this village and where is this court? It's in God's house.
Right.
It's in the kingdom of heaven. This is what real hip hop is about.
Right.
It's about rapping about the kingdom of heaven. And of course, it goes without saying, because in the book of Psalms, it's always reminding us about the hell we go through too. We read about that in the last chapter that we broke down with the ancient hip hop, which was, I think it was Psalm 140. And it was a lot of the struggle. You know, it was like listening to Zero back in 1998 when he first came out, 2000, before he got, before he was satisfied with before he was filled. I'm not saying he was in the kingdom, but I'm just saying though, before he got money up, that struggle Zero, there's a lot of that in the book of Psalms also. I'm pretty sure he probably read some of that stuff and it may have affected his lyrics because, he reads the Bible, but he should still get in all black though. Bayathka, okay? And then Quadash. Oh, we know this one. This means holy. In your holy house. Right? This ain't no regular house. This ain't no trap house. This ain't no Diddy mansion. You understand? Now, here's the problem. Because even just me reading this, I gotta say it. Black and Hispanic that are out there in the world, we want to dwell in a place that's like this, that satisfies us, but that's not this. So we look to every shortcut to try to get to live like this while still doing things our own way. And it's not how it works. It was not designed for blacks and Hispanics. It's not designed for Israel to just, like, you ever seen that meme where it's like the steps and then this little boy, he's like taking a step all the way on the top step and he's skipping all the other steps? That's like how we are. We're trying to get to the holy house, or something that gives us a feeling of fulfillment and happiness without going through the process of actually earning it.
Right.
That's our problem. And these, it's bringing it out just from reading these ancient bars, man, that it gives you a perspective that's necessary to understand what we got to do. That last one, and this is it. It says, Ha Yakalka, or Ha Yakalak. Yakalka. Ha Yakalak. We'll leave that one like that. It's because this one's actually saying temple. Ha Yakal. Ha Yakal is the actual whole phrase here. And that means temple or palace. Temple or palace. And that's exactly what it's saying. Of your, that's the ka. So ha yakal ka could be one way to say it. Ha yakalak would be modern Hebrew way of saying it.
Right.
Whichever you prefer. But like I said, remembering the root word, hayakal, and then just adding it at the end, it's a great way to learn the language. I prefer it. I would prefer to just pronounce things like that because it makes it easier to not get mixed up on what vocabulary word we're on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's verse 4. We got like 10 minutes left. So we're gonna see if we're gonna do one more verse. We're definitely gonna do one more verse. Yeah. Let's see if we can get this one. This one's pretty crazy one. Let me get a cherry bubble, Rashad, because trying to hurt my back.
Why?
Here we go. Now, give me that same verse in the KJV, just so we can make sure that we got the right pronunciation of the.
Come on, sir.
So again, this is Psalm chapter 65, verse 4. Let's get that in.
KJV?
Yeah, in the King James. What's that say?
What? Oh, I'm getting it.
Yeah, go ahead and get it. And go ahead and read it.
Come on, sir.
And then I want you to break down, kind of like how I said, but when you read it in the English, go ahead and break down what you're thinking about it while I write this on the board.
Come on, sir. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 65, verse 4. Blessed is the man whom thou choosest and causest to approach unto thee, that he may dwell in thy courts. We shall be satisfied with the goodness of thy house, even of the holy temple.
Even of the holy temple. You see how it adds so much just to say this? That's how you know there's Black and Hispanics wrote this language, because that sounded like a much longer sentence than what this says. Right. You know, because it has to explain it. Go ahead and tell the folks how you feel about that verse.
That's heavy. I mean, that's basically how we here in the UPK start to feel. Mm-hmm. You can feel the shift of the earth. Something worth fighting for.
The shift of the earth. Yeah. And it's not, it doesn't just happen overnight, you know what I'm saying? But oh shoot, we know that one. Ba Taza. Shoot. Taza Hadak. And it says the Ein Nawah. Now, since I'm still writing this, go ahead and try reading that verse in the Hebrew.
Oh, okay. Asharia, the Bakar, Watha Korab, Yasharkan, Katazaryak, Nashaba, Nashabaaya, Batawab, Bayatak, Quadash, Hayakalka.
Again.
Concert. This is the book of 65. This is the book of Psalms, verse 65, verse 4 in the Hebrew. Asharia. It's like a Tabakar. Watha Parab. Yashakan. Katazar Rayak. Nashabaaya. Batuwab. Bayathak. Quadash. Hayakalka.
Says Asharya Tha Bakhar Wa Tha Qwarab Ya Shakan Khatazarya Na Shabaiha Ba Tawab Ba Yathka Kodash Hayakalka or Hayakalak. Hebrew kind of, because all of these are consonants, and they all kind of have a similar ending sound, except some of them, like I, for example,
Right.
or they all have a ah at the end, ta. Like when you go down the whole thing, most of them have ah at the end, right? Mostly, and so aside from, of course, the ones that have characters that are at the end that we convert, they might sound better just by saying it with the character at the end, and it may sound like it rhymes better. So asharya tha bakhar, that's a root word, so we won't actually pronounce the ra, but asharya tha bakhar wa tha qwarab ya shakan kha tazar yak, and this is na shabai ha or na shabai, and then it says ba tawab ba yathka Kodash, Hayakalka, or Hayakalak. So like the ah is where the rhythm gets kept. So we don't know when it was written what the cadence of the speech was. We don't know how fluent we were with it.
Right.
So it's hard to tell how this would go to music, because it would go to music.
Right.
And we don't know if in the ancient Hebrew they kept a cadence like a 4-bar cadence like what we do in music today, because it's basically universal that we have a 4-bar cadence. I don't know if that's how it was in the ancient times. Maybe it was a cappella, right? Maybe it was just the sound and then they spit. But I don't know if it's like with any particular rhythm that's structured around the 4 count mark. So when you read the language, when you actually read it, because these are songs, you read it in a way where it's like we're still trying to figure out what the flow is.
Right.
And that's perfectly fine. But the thing about the Hebrew is that as we get more fluent with it, we'll be able to say it faster, and we might be able to catch on to that rhythm over time.
Right.
So ma ba tach, and then kal. I'm trying to write. Some of these markings are terrible. I might have to hit up Office Max or something. Get a whole new pack. See, the thing is with the temperatures in the school, when it gets hot and then it gets cold and it gets hot, it wears the markers out.
Right.
We might have to find a way, like a little bin we can keep it where it's more protected from the air,
Right.
so it doesn't affect it. Calm, and then qua quataza. Man, that's a crazy one. I don't say that one. Quatazao. Qua Tazawiya. Qua Tazawiya. I'm gonna just say it like that. It sounds clean like that. And then Arataza, we know that one, right? Arataza. That's the earth. And then Wayam. Sorry, my head's in the way. Hold on. Wayam. And then Rachak Yam. That's heavy. Rachak Yam. That's a hard one to pronounce. Rachak Yam. Rachak Rachawak is the pronoun. See, there's supposed to be a wa in the middle here. When I'm looking at the root word, and then it will pronounce Rachawak. But Rachak Yum. Boom. Before we break it down, let's try reading that verse. Then we'll get that. So it says, Nawar Awath.
Nawar Awath.
Yeah, Nawar Awath. And then Batazadak. The Ain Nawah.
The Ainaba.
Yeah, this sounds Native American right here.
The Ainaba.
Nawar Awath.
Nawar Awath.
Batazadak.
Batazadak.
The Ainawa.
The Ainawa.
Alahaya.
Alahaya.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Yashai Noah.
Yashainawa.
The Noah is like the cadence keeper right there. I like
Right.
that. Yashai Noah. And then it's Mabatak.
Babatach.
Oh, that closes it in. Okay. Mabatak. And then we go Ka.
Call.
Quatazalia.
Quatazalia.
Quatazalia. And then Arataza.
Arataza.
Wa Yum.
Wayam.
And then Rakak Yum.
Rakakyam.
So what it sounds like is like this was more laxed, and then once we get to verse 5, it starts hitting those pronunciations real heavy, where it goes Nawar Awath, Batazadat, the Ainowa, Alahaya, Yashai Nawa, Mabatak, Kal, Quatazalia, Arataza, Wayam, and then the rest of it. So it sounds more rhythmic. This verse. Now let's see what it says now. So now we're going to the interlinear. It says root word here is yara'ah. Yara'ah. Boom. Na yara'awa. Na ya. Na yar. Yara'ah. Na yara'awa. So maybe perhaps because that's the root word, let's pronounce it like that. Na wa ra'awath instead of na war awath. So na wa ra'awath. It's very similar, but the root word is wa ra'ah. That's why I'm changing it, because I want to keep the root word as close as I can. That word means damn. That actually means to fear, to morally, to revere, or to cause to frighten. Whoa, because it says by awesome deeds. It's going to be interesting to see how it says it in the KJV. But when you say awesome, we think of awesome like cool, yeah, but all means in awe of, right? So when it says awesome, it means a great or astounding thing. But when we look at the translation for wara'ah, it says to affright or be made afraid, reverence, or to terrify. That's interesting because it says by awesome deeds, by tazadak, it says in righteousness. In righteousness. This gives us a whole better understanding of this. The root word here, tazadak. Yeah, it's tazadak. Ba tazadak would mean in righteousness, but the word tazadak means righteous. And that's damn, I'm just looking at Officer Tazadak's name. So he's the ambassador, the armor bearer, the door, and the circle. He's like the damn near like what you can consider like a bouncer. Yeah, because the entrance to the circle would be like you ain't stepping into this circle without getting through the ambassador.
Right.
That's like a bouncer at a club. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
The club would be the circle. That's the qua.
Yeah.
The door would be the entrance. Then you got somebody that's holding post out front of it. Tazadak. No, the word righteousness. It's interesting though because we think of righteousness as a friendly term. The Most High says by fearsome deeds. And when we look at this translation of wara'ah, it's saying to cause to dread.
Yeah.
So it says by awesome deeds in righteousness. So even the things that the Most High does to us that are terrible, that we would consider as dreadful, is righteous. His judgments are righteous. Keep that in mind, okay? Because in order to get to the blood to be in the kingdom, he's gonna have to whoop your ass, right? So that's what it's telling you in the Hebrew. Okay, so it's saying the Ein Noah.
That's heavy.
You know what I'm talking about? It says you will answer us. You will give account. It says afflict. Aina. Basically, Aina right here. Ainawa. Means to give account, to afflict, or to answer, or to bring low. So it says, you will answer us. You answer us. But again, the translated word for answer right here could also be you afflict us. You see that? By awesome or dreadful. So Christianity, they just focus on the happy-go-lucky, sunshine, rainbow, and lollipop side of it. But when we're reading it, we're actually seeing that all of it is righteous. The punishment. Oh, you slept with that whore, you're going to get an STD.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You eat pork all the damn time, the judgment, the affliction is high blood pressure. Deal with that. Colon cancer,
Yeah.
quit playing. Like, these are bars right here.
Right.
This is real hip hop right here. This is the most. This artist was telling us the Most High. He gonna put hands on you to get to, because you got to earn your place there. You ain't just gonna get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the problem is we're in the mindset of doing whatever we want and getting it, but then we complain when we get punished. That's crazy. Lahaya, so it is, and it's referring to the Most High right here. It says God, right? Lahaya, right? And then it says Yashai Noah, our Savior.
Yashai. Right.
So the word Yashai,
Savior.
Mm-hmm. Yashai means Savior. Yahawashai is also means yeah, our Savior. So it says Ma Batach. What does that mean? Oh, yeah. Ma Batach. It says the root word here is, well, it's the whole thing. It means confidence, hope, trust, security.
Oh, okay.
So what it translates to is our salvations, and then it says in parentheses here, and then Chilean it says you who are, and then it says the confidence. But when we translate that confidence, it also says trust and security. So let's go with security, just to kind of expound on that understanding. And then it says of all, or all. Oh, I'll put two A's. The of is implied. You who are the confidence and security of all. And then it says Qua Tazalya, the ends. Qua Tazal, of all the ends of earth. Then it says Wayam. It says Wayam means and of. Well, technically, Wayam, it actually is the same thing as saying Yam, which would represent the sea or the oceans. But let's just go with what it's translating to here. It says and of the, and then it says Ra Chak Yam. Rakakwayam.
Kakyam.
I'm gonna say Chakwayam.
Oh,
Because niggas in the world,
Kakyam.
yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it like that. So we'll just start off right there. Far off seas. So he's really spitting right here.
Right.
Now let's get that in the KJV real quick, and then we'll call it.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 65, verse 5. By terrible things and righteousness.
What did I say? By terrible things. Go ahead.
By terrible things and righteousness, wilt thou answer us.
Without what?
Answer us.
What's the other translation? Afflict.
Right.
That's Ainah. So it's saying by awesome deeds, that's what dreadful and terribleness is, but crazy shit in righteousness, like by situations, go ahead, you afflict us, go ahead. Allahaya.
Oh, it's like wilt thou answer us, O God, our salvation.
Our salvation. So the dreadful deeds are actually saving you.
Right.
The stuff that you're going through, whether it's physical pain, the dreadful pain, your body's designed to have those things to keep you alive, right?
Right.
Like your body, like, you know, when you're sick, that's your body healing.
Right.
When you're sick, you almost die when you're sick. You go 104 fever.
Yeah.
Quit playing. That's a terrible thing to happen to you. But what would be even worse is if you didn't get sick and whatever is causing that sickness just dwells inside of you. It becomes cancer or something.
Right.
You know. So it's like the purging of our spirit and our flesh, things that the Most High does for us, is ultimately what leads us to our salvation. It changes everything about us, our actual physical form, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, on the mental side of things, that we become more aware of it so that we don't make those same mistakes. That way we can continue to try to avoid some of those puddles.
Right.
You know, you want to step over that puddle. You don't want to just walk in it and then get all kinds of leeches and stuff on you.
Right.
You can avoid that quicksand. You don't have to deal with all those things. Now, sometimes you do need to get that spanking. That's why your parents should spank you when you're young, so that they don't gotta pull you out of jail when you're older.
Right.
It's better that they do that now than to deal with it then, right? So go ahead and read.
Okay. O God of our salvation, who art the confidence
Go ahead.
of all the ends of the earth,
The confidence of all the ends of the earth. Go ahead.
and of them that are afar off upon the sea.
Damn. So, and of them that are far off upon the sea. So what that's saying is that the Most High is the one in control over all the things that happen on earth.
Right.
By awesome deeds and righteousness, the war in Ukraine is an awesome deed.
Right.
A terrible deed, right? The unfortunate mass shooting that happened in Australia is a dreadful deed.
Right.
That happened across the far off seas on the other side of the earth. But the Most High is doing all those things for the end result of those that He chose to be brought back to the house of goodness and the holy temple in the kingdom of Israel. It's like these two verses right here talk about everything going on earth.
That is.
You know what I'm saying? And just taking the time to digest it in the Hebrew gives us an even deeper appreciation of how heavy these bars really are. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
How long have you had this in the chamber?
I just made this up today.
Most High Christ.
I'm talking about this class?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're just breaking it down and talking about it. We're just letting the spirit flow, because that's what happens when we look at our language.
Right.
The holy tongue is made for us to look at things in a different perspective. So just us sitting here contemplating the Hebrew is going to open up our mind to the whole understanding of everything. And that's a beautiful thing. Now let's read it in the Hebrew one more time, and then we'll close out on that. Asharia, Tabachar, Wathakorab, Ya Shakan, Katazariah, Na Shabaiha. And then Ba-Tawab, Bayathka, Kodash, Hayakalka, and then Na-Wa-Ra'awath.
Na-Wa-Ra'awath.
Yeah. Na-Wa-Ra'awath. There you go. Ba-Tazadak. Tha'ainawa. Alahaya. Yashai.
Nawa.
Ma-Batak. Kal. Kwatazawya. Arataza. Wayam. Rakakwayam. And what we said was, blessed is the man who you choose and cause to approach, that he may dwell in your courts. We shall be completed in the goodness of your house, even the holy temple of your palace. And it says,
By dreadful deeds and righteousness, you answer us, God, our Savior, who are the confidence of all the ends of the earth and of those on the far off seas. That's heavy. Because you praying to the Most High, you praying to the Lord for your problems in your life.
Right.
And it is through the struggle itself that you're receiving your affliction and your answer. And so the Most High, when he answers your prayers, he answers your prayers with a challenge. He'll answer your prayer with a situation for you to overcome. And we know what your name means.
Right.
You know, so again, that's the kind of music that Israel writes. Okay. I don't want to hear nothing about no selling drugs. I don't want to hear nothing about shooting your own brothers. You could talk about, you know, destroying the enemy when the time comes, when the Most High gives us the power and the authority. But until then, I mean, we on a different song. We're singing a different song these days. That song is a song of understanding how the Most High afflicts us and punishes us because we deserve it. First of all, we definitely do. But those that he calls that can take that checking, that can actually go through it and appreciate it, those are the ones that are the gold that he's trying in the fire. Some of them, they get tried in the fire, they get burnt to ash. Some of them that can withstand it can become precious in the eyes of the Most High. And in our music, in our language, in our actual speech, we're talking about these things. We're echoing the things that were talked about back then. But when you actually read them, it gives you all the inspiration of what it means to be an Israelite and have music.
Right.
So with that, this is the Isupk. Started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, 1969, under Commanding General Yohana. And we're here to teach, again, the truth of the Bible that so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians are the real Israelites according to the scriptures. And with that, shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatham. Yahweh Shema Athan Bahashem Yahushua. All right. Go ahead and so.